Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet,
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantabulous.
That's good. Anything exciting going on in your life today?
No, I made some delicious steak last night, though.
I did see that picture, but the steak that you made, which you warmed up in the microwave today,
Look,
did
I
not
can't
look
eat
as
cold steak.
did
all right?
not
Don't-
look as delicious as
Oh, no,
last
it
night's.
was delicious. It was just very fatty. So had to eat the meat, cut around the fat. There was a lot of fat.
of
But it
fat.
was delicious. I actually ran out of one of my favorite seasonings, so I'm gonna have to
Which
go
one?
to the store.
Is it High Velocity?
It is not.
Oh,
it is
that's
not.
mine.
It's
You have High Velocity.
it's like a Kansas City championship like barbecue rub thing. Like I have to go find it. It was at Hy-Vee. I gotta go find it.
Oh, okay.
It's delicious.
good
It's like
thing is
three little pigs or something like that.
Good thing is we're right here by a Hy-Vee. Somebody asked, you don't eat the fat?
I mean, some of it, but not there. Look, there was a lot of fat.
So that means there was a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
There was a lot of flavor. In
Like I leave a little bit on the meat and I'll eat
Yeah,
it because
yeah,
it
yeah.
has flavor. Like it has, it keeps the juices in there, it has the flavor, but I'm not eating like there was probably a 1-to-1 meat to fat ratio. And
Oh,
it was a
that's
massive
bad.
steak. Like it was a very fatty cow.
That's not good then. Do you guys buy cows? Like buy half of a cow?
It's
Because I know it's like it's
my-
families. I
Yeah, it's
know.
my
I knew
father-in-law's
that.
cows, so he doesn't have to buy.
Oh,
a
you
cow.
don't- he
They're
doesn't-
his cows. He pays to get them butchered.
I understand that. So you guys don't have to.
We don't have to pay for the meat.
You
no.
don't have to pay for the meat.
No, they
That's
just get
nice.
every time we go up or anytime they come down, they just bring more meat.
Rubber Duck from LinkedIn says, "Get Meat Church Holy Cow Rub at Shields."
Okay, I'll try it. Look, if anybody has
Yeah.
any tips on smoking or grilling, I am a novice. I am not like I have a smoker and I'm still trying. I'm still learning things, but I am not the greatest when it comes to that. Last night, the steaks I made I cooked them perfectly medium rare. It was beautiful. Doesn't happen every time. I was telling Nick there are times where I cook it and I take it off and I go, dang it, this is too rare. So I'll put it back on for a little bit, take it off, overcooked. I'm like, darn it.
It's a rookie mistake.
Yeah. So I have to, I'm still figuring out.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
getting there.
figuring out the grill and the smoker all
Yep,
at the same time.
I'm getting there. I can smoke some mean ribs though.
Yeah, you're bringing me ribs.
I will at some point. I have some ribs in
Next
the
week.
freezer. I don't know about next week. Maybe next
Yeah,
week.
why not?
I'll see what I can do.
Mark asked me, he's like, what's your favorite kind of cake? And I was like, red
Whenever-
velvet.
Look, whenever Mark asks you what your favorite kind of cake is, just be prepared for deliciousness.
I was like, all red velvet, please.
All meat church seasonings are A-OK, says Jory.
They're
Okay.
fire.
Look,
Okay.
is that the fire emoji on this
Oh
computer?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not.
On my laptop,
looks-
it's the fire emoji.
Okay.
Is
It
it-
looked
is
like
it this one?
It looked like the hand doing this, but it's I guess
Make sure
it
we
is
don't
fire.
make sure we don't do the Herbie Husker one.
Yeah, it looks like fire when I get closer to it. So
All right, 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln
Ooh.
Hotline. Those sound good. The Honda of Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC are our handles. Cheeseburger says this: smoked barbecue ranch pork chops.
look, I love pork chops like to
Really?
a fault. Like I love. My grandma used to make. She would make white rice with kidney beans and fried pork chops.
Mhm.
And when I tell you that is my favorite meal growing up, like anytime she's like, "So what do you want to eat?" I'm like, pork chops and rice and beans.
I've probably had a pack of 4 frozen pork chops in my freezer. Let's see, I moved in August. I think it was one of the first things I bought. So August.
Dude,
That I have not used it. I'm
Look,
more
if
I'm
you-
more of a chicken breast
Hey,
and steak guy.
if you don't
and
want 'em-
salmon,
if-
salmon.
If you don't
Big
want them, I'll
salmon.
take them.
Ooh, I don't
Rachel
know.
is not the biggest
might.
pork chop person, so I don't really buy pork chops all that often. We're
Mhm.
mostly, steak and chicken and stuff. But I I love pork chops.
I
so
think they're the
much.
Misty's pork chops, as if that's a thing. For some reason, I'm feeling like they're the Misty's pork
Misty
chops.
seasoning is delicious.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Like I said, 402-464-5685. Shooter McGavin says, you just got to do trial and error, Rico. When you do a mistake or something perfect, save it in your phone so you have a reference of what to do and what not to do. That's how I learned. I
Okay.
will say this.
I'm still figuring out the ins and outs of my smoker because there's a side that's hotter than there's like a specific zone that's hotter than the rest of it. So if I want something to cook faster, I put it there.
Okay.
So I put the bigger steaks like it's like kind of like the back right area and like the back. It's like the back and like closer to the middle. Like that's hotter than the front and anywhere. So
I think I need to get a smoker. Can
You should.
Are you able just to get a little small, like
Yeah, there's a
not,
little-
not
there's little ones.
personal one, but a smoker?
yeah, there's little ones, and you can get depending on what you want. You can get the electric ones that
Yeah.
force feed like the pellets and everything.
I think
or you
that's
can
the
get-
better ones.
Or
to
you can
go
get like
with.
the manual ones where you get like the chips and you light it and whatever have you, what
So-
have you.
Smokers on the text line, people with smokers. Let us know which ones should we which ones should we
What are you laughing at?
Rubber Duck from LinkedIn. I think there was a typo.
Whoa!
I think there was a typo. I do not think that. Yeah, exactly. He follows up with. I do not. Rubber Duck, you're good, man. You're good. I know you did not mean to say that word. What did you mean to say? So we can. Listen, man, you are good. Something. Whoever. I'm sorry. This is bad radio right now. I apologize, folks. Okay, so he meant Nick, but it got autocorrect.
We
Okay.
don't have to stop talking about
No. So that people have an idea of what the accident was. Why we were just dying right there. He meant Nick Weber Kettle. They're cheap. He said something else instead of Nick. Not autocorrect, but it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. For real. That's funny as heck, man. That is hilarious.
I love you, Rubber Duck.
Yeah, man. You are all good. And I'm sorry, folks, that we just went like total silent laughter right there. But it popped up and I looked at Rico and he's like, "What you laughing at?" And I'm like, "Do you not see the text line?" Because so many times you'll just look over at me and be like, give me the look when somebody sends in a questionable text.
I didn't see
And
that one.
I was expecting that look from
That
you.
is great. Now I was looking
All
at
right.
all the recipes that people are
Yes, if you have recipes for smokers or like there was a smoked queso, please send that in. I believe. Oh no, Rubber Duck said that he had a smoked queso thing. So
yeah, I have an electric smoker. That's kind of the starter one with the pellets. It's easier. It feeds itself. It keeps it around a certain temperature. The big green egg Traeger whatever grills like those ones people say they have better flavor and they cook better or whatever. But that's a lot of like. I don't know if you have to like tend to it or everything, but you have to like put it in there and you have to put a certain amount to get it to a certain temperature. And it's slightly complicated and I don't want to work that hard. I just want to set it, put it tell my grill, go to 400, wait a little bit, let it get up there, throw my stuff on there and let it go.
sounds good. Okay.
Oh my God.
Ooh, okay. Rubber Duck, you good, bro. Okay, so
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Pit Boss XL is what Cheeseburger has. Yeah, I need to do some
That's
shopping.
what I have a Pit Boss. What is the name of it? I don't remember what the name is, but I got a Pit Boss as well. It's fantastic.
I might as well let the algorithms go to work. I'll just Google Pit Boss Smoker so I get to start seeing ads for it.
Mine's like not massive, but it's not tiny. Like
Did
it's
you just
like,
get it off of Amazon or did you go somewhere? and get it?
Rachel got it for me. I don't remember where she got it.
Probably Bass Pro.
Maybe.
Bass Pro, probably. Okay,
Bass Pro
so
Cabela's.
yeah, exactly. All right. Enough girl talk today. 402-464-5685. Once again, send in recipes. I'm always looking for new stuff to test out. Love your Rubber Duck, man. You just gave us comedy, man. I love it. All right. There's a couple things I want to get to before we'll have Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on here at 2:30 to talk Husker baseball because it's time.
It is time.
Like me and Mark this morning before Vershawn's show, me and Mark were doing like deep dives into Husker baseball history. And I was like, Mark, what if Nebraska wins 40 games this year?
Oh,
And there's a way that if they win every series, they're exactly at 40. Because remember, last year,
2 out of
there was
3.
no non-con.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and some of those are 3 out of 4.
Okay.
So there's a way that what if Nebraska baseball wins 40 games? They were 34-14 last year at the end of the year. So I'm going to talk. I want to talk to
how many games do they play? Because
Oh,
30,
geez.
34
I
and
don't
14. Yeah, we don't have to.
yeah, I
get into
don't,
that.
there's no
Because I was
way.
going to say 34 and 14. They would have
Probably
been
50-ish.
That'd have been a wild number of like single digit losses last season.
So
But again, there was no non-con. So.
no non-con, so that played a factor. But and that was also including their postseason wins. So the 3 that they had in the tournament. So I want to talk to Evan Bland a little bit about that because there's a lot of excitement around new faces, especially in the pitching rotation. They lost 3 guys to the pros or to the MLB draft last year. So they're going to have to kind of replenish that whole thing. So I want to talk to Evan a little bit about that here at 2:30. I will say this, there's going to be some changes to the happy hour starting next week.
Can we announce it?
Yes.
We can.
About Thursdays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Thursdays are going to be kind of I don't want to say throwaway day because that's not it.
It's a fun day.
It's a fun day.
Thursdays are fun days.
We're going to move the tip jar to Thursday,
Opening the show.
opening the show with the tip jar on Thursdays. Okay. Not the text bag, the tip jar.
Tip jar. Don't call it the text bag. It's not that.
Yeah. It's completely different.
It's
so
completely original.
So Thursdays, right at the start of the show, is going to be the tip jar. Then at 2:30, we are the new home for Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Uncle Kevin
Yes.
stopping by.
And because we get to start that next Thursday, because 2 days before that, I will be 21.
We've
So
been waiting for
we
Nicholas
have.
to be of age before we started drinking beer and
Yes.
wine.
Yes.
On
So
that, like the name of the show, it's like perfect for it. We're the happy hour.
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
necessary.
And so we are going to be the new home for Thirsty Thursday with Meyer Cork and Bottle and Kevin Meyer. So I mean, we're all looking forward to that, trying out some new stuff, and Kevin will be able to put his influence onto my palate right off the bat. So that'll be all fun. And then Friday, we're working on getting some weekly guests for Husker baseball Monday and Friday. Those are not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed yet.
We need to talk to them.
Not confirmed yet. Working
So
on that.
that's how Thursday. Tomorrow will be still the tip jar at 2:30, getting you ready for Husker baseball tomorrow night as well. At 2:30, we'll have the tip jar. So we want your participation as always, and we'll go along from there. But first off, before we talk a little Husker baseball, there was some news today that the Big Ten may be getting a new TV deal. And so right now they're in the middle of a deal with Fox and ESPN. They have kind of like a 2-company thing there where Fox pays, obviously a big sum of money. It's like $440 million, I think, throughout the conference for TV rights for the Big Ten Conference. Well, that deal, they signed it in 2017, expires in 2023. So now it's time for negotiations, and ESPN's in the negotiating window right now with the Big Ten Conference to see if they can extend it. There's a way, and according to a lot of people that follow this full time and all this, they are believing that the next TV deal for the Big Ten would be close to $1.1 billion.
Ooh, buddy.
And so why is that such a big thing? Why is that such a good thing? Well, Nebraska already gets a pretty decent amount of money from their TV deal. Now, if you increase that by $800,000 divided by the 14 teams, once again, bigger percentage, bigger sum, lot more money. And so one reason that, or one company that's kind of making some strides is NBC. Because NBC feels like they want the 1-2 punch of Big Ten football and Notre Dame football.
I mean, that's a pretty solid 1-2 punch.
And
That's a lot of eyes on TVs and such. Because I mean, Notre Dame, as people, no matter whatever you want to say about it, Notre Dame has a strong and very far-reaching brand, and the power that they have with that, and still being an independent, like people flock to see Notre Dame, and they've been fantastic. And starting next season, they'll have a new head coach, so that might be another reason.
They had one in the bowl game. I would actually say there's a chance that Notre Dame might be more enjoyable to watch
Mm.
and more of a fan favorite with Marcus Freeman as the head coach rather than Brian Kelly.
Question.
Okay.
For maybe not for you, for everybody listening. You don't have to answer. You can't answer, whatever. Will Notre Dame be better? Like, will Notre Dame, if they make the playoff,
Ooh.
actually make a championship game?
Ooh,
If they make the
that's
playoff.
interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Will Notre Dame be better?
Nate doesn't know this. I'm a huge fan of Marcus Freeman. I love Marcus
Big
Freeman.
Marcus Freeman guy here.
I liked Marcus Freeman when he was with Cincinnati.
My dad went to Notre Dame, so I'm a big Notre Dame guy.
Okay.
So
Nice work.
I will always stand Notre Dame.
I love
So I might be a little bit biased in this discussion. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be in it, but yes, Notre Dame will win a national championship sooner than later.
I love Marcus Freeman. Anyway,
I think
So,
he's better than Brian Kelly.
me too. I do too.
I think he's a good hire.
I like the hire
Okay.
as well. Stay in house.
Did
as
you
well.
see when he was first announced to the team?
They were
They loved
They
it.
lost their mind.
Yes. Yes.
They're ready to go.
They love it.
Yeah.
So that's I love Marcus Freeman. You'll hear me say that throughout the course of the seasons. All right. So either way, NBC wants this 1-2 punch of Big Ten football and 1-2 punch of Big Ten football and Notre Dame. They have all this money because they no longer carry NHL. They were paying $100 million a year to carry some of the NHL games,
Mhm.
but now ESPN has kind of taken NHL over. But we're starting to see, if
Is that
you
a
think
good
about
thing
it,
or a bad thing for NHL?
I think it's a good thing for NHL. And if NBC is able to take Big Ten football, it's going to be a great thing for NBC.
Oh yeah,
But
positives for everybody all around.
yes. So we're starting to see like NBC make a couple moves. And we saw it a couple months ago. Maria Taylor left ESPN, went to NBC,
Mhm.
instantly utilized her for a strong role working for the Olympics.
Right away.
College Game Day took a huge hit. Rightfully so.
It's a massive loss.
Rightfully so. And so I'm curious, 402-464-5685, how would we feel with Mike Tirico calling Husker football games?
Sign me up.
He
for
has called Big Ten
Sign-
tournament basketball games.
Oh,
games
sign me
before.
up for Mike Tirico calling Nebraska football games. I love Mike Tirico, dude.
So I think it's going to be interesting.
Sign me up for meeting Mike Tirico.
You got Jack Collinsworth, Chris Collinsworth's son.
Mhm. He's solid, actually.
He sounds just like his dad.
Mhm.
You know, Mike,
You know,
I love seeing these guys. Okay.
Casey Thompson made a great throw right there. Just flung it right over the linebacker and dropped it right in the hands of the tight end.
So with that, I mean, ESPN, like I said a little bit earlier, they're currently in a negotiating window with the conference. But here's the deal. From a business standpoint, the Big Ten would be smart to let that negotiating window close
Mhm.
and wait for all the other bidders to come in, like NBC.
Mhm.
And when they come to the table, obviously the Big Ten's not stupid. They understand how much their brand is worth. Second most popular brand or conference in the country,
Mhm.
behind the SEC. And so you might be sitting there saying, no way, $1 billion. There's no way that they're going to pay for that TV deal. But think about it, for like a station like Fox, they need the Big Ten quite a bit because they're still trying to establish the Fox Big Noon Kickoff show. And once again, the Big 12 is losing a lot when Oklahoma and Texas go to the SEC in 2023.
Because the Big Noon Kickoff show and Fox was almost synonymous with the Red River rivalry shootout, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called nowadays, with Oklahoma and Texas. And with them moving to the SEC, Fox can't have that. That's ESPN's now. The SEC is all ESPN.
Which kind of stinks because
Granted that, the SEC, there's still a couple SEC games on
Yes.
Fox, but when they go to the table at the beginning of the season and they start, drawing names for who gets what games, I almost guarantee you ESPN's not going to let go of that one.
Well, what's interesting, and it kind of stinks because I would be in the boat of rather having Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the call for a game like that than Chris
100%.
Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit.
Although if the Big Ten
think-
loses, if Fox loses the Big Ten, we're losing Gus.
Well, I don't know if this deal necessarily means that they're completely losing the Big Ten.
Gus loves calling Ohio State games.
But think about it. And Joel Klatt loves Nebraska.
Yes, and we love Joel Klatt.
We love Joel Klatt.
kind of, but not really.
No, we love
He's
Joel
a
Klatt.
Colorado guy.
We like Joel Klatt.
We like Joel Klatt.
As an analyst, we like Joel Klatt a lot. But I think it's interesting because I think we'd see something where NBC might be the primary place for Nebraska football or Big Ten football, but they could do something similar where ESPN broadcasts Big Ten football, but just not as in a big of a light as Fox does.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Big Ten Network, which Mark made a good point to me earlier when we were kind of discussing this. Would that mean NBC would take over 49% of the Big Ten Network?
Oh.
And so there's a lot of things in play here where it could be really interesting. But you're starting
I'm
to
just
see.
trying to think which channel I like more, NBC or Fox.
Well, no, I don't know if a lot of people watch NBC on Saturdays, but they would
True.
if it's Big Ten football.
NBC plays The Office a lot.
NBC does play The Office.
They do.
But
Just a
think, I
random
mean,
observation.
think about this. It's you would have NBC Sports Network as well as part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's also included in cable packages all the time. Now with streaming, you can add individual channels, but for the folks that have cable, I don't know about the cable possibilities. I honestly don't.
Which
So
one-
somebody
yeah, I
on
don't know
text line
which-
can help me out with
Yeah,
that.
I just want to know like base cable. Do you get NBC or Fox or
Yeah,
ESPN?
you get-
Like which one? Like which ones do you get with like your base cable package?
Yeah.
Anybody that has that or knows, like if you could text in, call
Mm-hmm.
in, whatever. If you work for
NBC.
NBC, go ahead, give us
Yeah.
a ring.
Yeah. If you're listening, Al Michaels, let us know. But
I know you are.
Yeah, exactly. James says this: for some reason, when Gus Johnson yells, it's awesome. I feel like Chris Fowler almost grunt yells whenever there's a big play, and it always feels forced. I don't like watching games with Fowler. That comes from James.
I actually don't mind. Like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
I don't mind it. I kind of like. It's not as hyped as Gus because
Yeah.
Gus gets loud.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you never see it, but I could just imagine. This is gonna sound weird. I just imagine Gus when a big play happens and he yells, he has his arms up like Kermit the Frog.
That and I wonder
and
if
it's just like,
I wonder if there's a point where like Joel Klatt, he yells. And Joel Klatt just like jumps because he was not ready for it.
or
gets
like
freaked
Joel,
out.
like Joel's like holding Gus. He's like, stop moving.
Okay, so this comes from Josh. NBC no longer has NBC Sports, so football would probably be on USA Network as well. Okay,
Oh.
so that's interesting.
Yeah, NBCSN.
Because during the NBCSN
Sports Network.
what's interesting isn't who has True TV as part of their package? Because think about March Madness time.
That's on True TV.
It's on True TV.
That's
Is
CBS.
it CBS or
I
is it
believe
TNT?
Oh,
I don't know. I honestly do not know
I want to
who
say
the
it's
parent
CBS.
networks
Yeah,
are.
I want to say True TV is CBS.
Who owns True TV?
That just seems right. Because you don't see many. March Madness isn't really on TNT. TNT, like TNT's main go is NBA.
So True TV's sister networks are as TNT.
Okay.
So that's the connection there. And USA, according to Josh, must be connected to NBC.
NBC.
So there's a chance, yeah. But a lot of interesting things going on in the TV deal world because
Is CBS,
obviously a deal's on the horizon. I would love Big Ten
CBS,
football.
ESPN?
No, CBS is CBS. isn't
CBS
it?
is just their own.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty sure.
Whatever. TV
Um,
networks are confusing.
But CBS, I would love to see Big Ten football on CBS.
Who announces CBS games?
I know the voices, just don't know the names.
I'm gonna look it up, or you're gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Whatever.
CBS 230 sports announcers.
It's necessary.
That's easy.
Just 2:30.
Yeah, Gary Bender and Pat Hayden and Steve Davis. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't hear them, but you
I
know the
guess,
voices.
Yeah, man. I was
You
saying, if I
know
hear
the
them,
voices.
I'll know it.
Yeah. So, wait, no, it's not Brad Nessler anymore, is it?
No.
I don't know. Somebody can help us out. 402-464-5685.
Somebody who knows more.
Yeah, exactly.
Than
Once
the two
again,
guys on the radio.
once again, we all know the voices, but Brad Nessler is around still. Yeah, he is there. Yeah,
Okay.
he's part of it. Yeah, then Gene Steratore, of course. Gene Steratore, the replay official. All right, let's go ahead and get to break.
So I'm reading this. Fox, co-owner of the Big Ten Network. I think that they'll even if they lose, the broadcasting rights, I think they'd still remain a co-owner of the Big Ten
Yeah.
Network. But it would just, it'd be one of those weird things where you own the Big Ten Network, but another station is broadcasting the games.
So I think a lot of
Although Fox would get paid
Yeah.
from another television company to broadcast, or they'd get part of it with being a co-owner. So
Which, and that's another thing with these things, like football's not going to just completely vanish from Fox or ESPN. Like, it's just going to be in a much smaller capacity. All right, let's go ahead and get to break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. A lot of things to get to. Colby Gomez will make his return tomorrow. I'm curious, will he be playing first base? Will he be strictly coming off or in a closing role? We'll get to all that and even some expectations talk with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald regarding Husker baseball next up on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I have been getting back out and hitting different restaurants, hitting different places, and I could not be more excited to get back to Bearshin in Benson, one of the best beer gardens around. The weather's starting to get good, and coinciding with that, they are going back to their full food menu. We're talking the burgers, the Johnny Hammer Pants sandwich, the pretzels, the fries, the salads, if you're one of those people. They got all of it, and they are now open Tuesday through Sunday. That allows you to get over to Bearshin, check out the food, the beer, hang out in the beer garden. You can get that $7 big cheese double Wagyu burger special on Tuesdays. Also, happy hour, 3 to 6, Tuesday through Friday. Don't miss it. Plus, you're a soccer fan, it's the place to be in Benson.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Starter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. StarterHeyman.com.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Did you know your air ducts can hold up to 17 pounds of dirt, dust, pet dander, and so much more? John Henry's is here to help make the air you breathe cleaner with a duct cleaning. If you've never had your ducts cleaned, now is the best time, especially if you have pets, someone in the home with allergies or asthma, or you've ever done a renovation. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call or text today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Based right here in Lincoln, Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska is part of a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Mosaic's mission is to relentlessly pursue opportunities to empower people. By providing truly personalized services, this empowerment ranges from helping someone communicate for the first time to helping another gain enough independence to secure a job. If you would like to learn more about Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska services or to donate, please go to mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska. Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Nick Sainert.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Enrique Alvarez Clary.
If any of you need anything at all, too bad. Deal with your problems yourselves like adults.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are efforting Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald here. I want to talk expectations a little bit. It was announced today that Husker baseball is picked by the coaches to win the Big Ten Conference. They are number 1 overall preseason. Michigan comes in at number 2, and Nebraska's first conference series is against Michigan, March 25th through the 27th at home. So that's interesting as well. The other 5 on the preseason list: number 1, Nebraska; number 2, Michigan; number 3, Iowa; Maryland, number 4, Ohio State, number 5, and Indiana, number 6. Nebraska is going to get a chance to play, once again, Michigan, March 25th through the 27th. They play at Ohio State, at Indiana, and then Iowa comes to town on April 29th as well. So, I mean, when you're looking up and down the schedule, lots of opportunities to get more national recognition if you're Will Bolt and Nebraska baseball. So there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to when we talk Husker baseball. All right, let's head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, where we are joined by Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, how's it going, man? Are you ready for baseball to start up?
Hey, guys. Yes, I am definitely ready. I think it's probably a common theme around these parts. We're coming off of what football brought and what men's basketball is bringing. Hope springs eternal. The sun's coming out. The temperatures are warming up. And, yeah, it feels like it could be a fun year. So definitely ready for the season ahead.
Nebraska was picked number 1 or to finish, those Big Ten champions and repeat. I think a lot of people forget that this is going to be Will Bolt's second full year practically after his first year kind of got canceled and halted due to COVID. Are expectations too high? Are you surprised that they picked Nebraska to repeat?
Well, at worst, it's an overcorrection for what happened last year when they weren't even in the top 6 and they run away with the league title. So, I think coaches didn't want to get burned by Nebraska in that way again. So, you go ahead and put them as the favorite. I think it is something of a statement to what Will Bolt is building as it is who they bring back, because I don't think you can overstate what they lost. I mean, what Spencer Schwellenbach was as a shortstop and a closer, what Keith Povich was as a Friday guy, what all 3 outfielders were, and what they brought to the team as a veteran presence. I mean, it's not like you're just moving on from one guy. I mean, there are a number of key spots and key roles that are open, and you can certainly make the case that the players that they have trending in that direction will fill those spots, and you can make the case, I think, fairly easily that Nebraska could indeed win the Big Ten again. But to predict that ahead of time, I think it puts a lot of credit on the staff that says they believe that his peers believe that those players will be developed, that Shea Shanneman and Kyle Perry will take that next step and really be Friday and Saturday aces. You have to believe that outfield can reload. And sort of the lens that I've looked at this season through for a while is Nebraska ready to be a national program? Because the national programs around the country, they're hit every year by players leaving early for the draft. They're hit every year by pieces of their recruiting class going to the draft, and they still are able to reload win games, host regionals, make postseason runs. And so if Nebraska can do that, considering the star power and the leaders that they lost, then I think it's a really positive sign that this thing could be sustainable in the Will Bolt era for quite a while to come.
We're speaking to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, you kind of touched on the pitching rotation. It's going to look a little different. I mean, how confident are we in those guys? Kyle Perry's fully healthy. Shea Shanneman had a pretty strong year last year, and then you bring in a guy, Dawson McCarville, who will get a start on Saturday as well, and then I believe Braxton Bragg out there to finish up Game 4 this weekend. I mean, how confident do you feel in this pitching rotation? And then don't forget, Colby Gomez is also going to be on the back end.
Right. So I think it's helpful to sort of look at the context of the Big Ten when we're talking about Nebraska. So as I went back and looked at the Big Ten, especially coming off a year when it was a league-only schedule and there were no midweek games, it really became clear quickly that there are not a lot of experienced starting pitchers out there. I mean, 10 of the 13 teams in the league are replacing the majority of their rotation. So sort of in that context, Nebraska technically fits into that, where they lost their Friday and Saturday starters, but there's sort of some sneaky experience there too. I mean, Shea Shanneman and Kyle Perry both have about a dozen career starts to their name. Both of them started key regional games last year. I mean, Perry was the starter when Nebraska upset Arkansas, and Shanneman was really crucial to them getting to that point with what he did earlier in that day at the regional site. And so, you know, you feel good, I guess, about the experience they have. I think Nebraska believes they're both ready to take a step forward. They're both fully healthy, all that. And then McCarville, you know, is another experienced guy who's got about the same number of career college starts under his belt. He was, you know, he would take the ball to start for a regional team last year at Grand Canyon. So he pitched in a regional for that team last year, and they like his experience and his, you know, I suppose poise in those sorts of moments. And then there's just a lot of depth, man. I mean, Braxton Bragg's a third-year guy who's going to get the ball Sunday. They're going to see what he can do. Jake Buns has been in the running. Cody Frank is somebody, I think, who's an older guy who could get some midweek looks moving forward. Mason Ornelas, who's a Texas A&M transfer, sort of can be a two-way guy, a long reliever or a starter. And then, like you mentioned, you know, Colby Gomez, who was a freshman All-America type in 2019, he's back to that old role. He's fully healthy again. And, you know, I was, the more I've been thinking too about the depth, you know, people forget that they have two freshmen who were two of their more highly recruited pitchers in the last 15 years, and Drew Christo and CJ Hood. I mean, these are both top 200 national recruits. And in the past, and if you're part of a team, if you bring in guys like that and you don't have a lot of pitching depth, then those guys immediately are in the conversation to be weekend rotation starters, maybe the closer. And I think it speaks to Nebraska's depth at those positions that we really haven't heard too much about those guys. Again, not because they've underperformed, but because there are so many more veteran options that they have available. So I do think, you know, the perception of depth has been there pretty consistently in the offseason, and now we're going to see how that translates into actual games.
Sticking with Colby Gomez real quickly, I mean, should we expect to see him a little at first base too? Because at the first press conference with Will Bolt, he mentioned Colby Gomez still can play first base, still can hit. I mean, should we expect a little bit of Colby Gomez at first?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. And, you know, he was one of the more interesting players for me in the offseason. Again, we hadn't seen him in a couple of years because of injury and things. But after that 2019 season, you know, I can tell you with some certainty that Will Bolt and his staff kind of had moved on from Colby Gomez as a hitter. They kind of felt like he needed to focus on pitching. And so to me, it speaks to, you know, what he's done as a pitcher, that they would even sort of entertain the idea that he could come back as a hitter and as a first baseman. And so I think a lot of his playing time on the infield will depend on what guys like Jack Stile do. I mean, they like him as a sophomore. Coaches have kind of compared him to Scott Schreiber a little bit in terms of a guy who has some power when he gets going. He wasn't totally healthy last year, so we'll see what he can do this year. But when Gomez has been at first in the past, I mean, he's, you know, 6'4", 6'5". He's been really good defensively. He showed some power at the plate, and he's another guy who is kind of interesting to me in how when you talk about Will Bolt developing hitters, you know, I think back to guys like Luke Roscom last year, who was given a different approach by Will Bolton, and it paid off in an all Big Ten season. I think Gomez is one of those guys who, as a freshman, he said this a couple of times where it said, hey, look, I'm going to go to the plate and swing hard because, hey, I might hit the ball, right? And so he's got a more refined approach now. They have him sort of wanting to hit the ball where it's pitched. And so it'll be fascinating, I think, to see how that maturity translates into his offense too. But to answer your question, yeah, I think we will see him out there, in sort of a timeshare at first base, and it'll be interesting to see how effective he can be.
Now, going back to the pitchers a little bit, you mentioned Drew Christo and CJ Hood and the amount of pitching depth that Nebraska has. Will we see them, here and there, or is it going to be very few and far between with their appearances?
Well, it'll just be kind of situational. I think this first weekend's interesting because you don't typically play 4-game weekends in a standard season. And so this is usually the case for a lot of college baseball teams where when you have a big, long weekend like this, you're going to see a number of guys. You're going to see your starters, of course. You'll probably see your high-end relievers a few times, but you're going to have to dig deep in your pen just to fill the innings and to get through it. And so you find out pretty quickly, who can step up when the lights come on and whose maybe strong practices translate into the games. And I think, then beyond this weekend, you start getting into midweek games. And that to me is where a lot of that depth really shows, because if you're really top heavy, but you don't have, that 4th, 5th or 6th arm, suddenly those midweek games get kind of hairy and you're getting into slugfests and they can get kind of ugly and you can drop a few of those. But if you have the depth, like Nebraska seems to believe that it does, then you can, if you don't need Christo on a weekend because you have, some arms to fill in, and you can pitch him on a Tuesday against Kansas State or on a Wednesday against Corpus Christi or whoever, suddenly you're in a great situation there. So I would expect they're going to get plenty of opportunities. And as we see every year, if you can show early in the season that you can be consistent, that you can keep the ball in the strike zone, and that you can get some outs, you're going to get more opportunities. And so I think at the very least, those guys are going to have the opportunity to show what they can do here pretty early. We're speaking to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, a couple more before we let you go. Something that's kind of been brought up with Will Bolt is last year, some of the most exciting baseball was the small ball, was the mentality that this team had. Now this year, it seems like they believe that they're going to be able to hit for power in some instances. What kind of approach should we expect from this team? Because even if they are allowed or able to hit for more power, I don't expect that their small ball and that hard-nosed mentality is just going to go away. No, I don't think so either. Some of it's personnel related, right? Like Mojo Hagee, Jackson Hallmark, those guys were really good bunters by the end of their careers and were versatile in that way. I think, Luke Sartori, who's probably going to be the center fielder, has some of those traits where he's got the speed and can lay down a bunt and do some things like that. But, like you said, Will Bolt sort of hinted at this idea that they're going to go away from that a little bit more and more toward sort of your major league approach where you're hoping for a big inning and you're not giving away outs and things like that. And some of that's, of course, got to be catered to the personnel that you have. And so I think that makes a lot of sense. What Will Bolt has often said, and I think we saw this play out last year, is if nothing else, you need to be able to be versatile in how you score as an offense. So if you're going up against a Friday night starter who is pitching on his game, you're probably not going to be able to string 3 singles together against him and score. But maybe that's a night you swing for the fences and you get a walk and you get a home run, and that's enough. And then you have those other games where, hey, the wind's howling in. You're probably not going to be hitting for much power that day. So let's put the ball in play. Let's put pressure on the defense. Maybe they make a mistake, and that's how the floodgates open. So I think that's, even though they're going away from it a little more, I think that the emphasis still has to be versatility of offense. So you're able to score no matter the condition, no matter who's on the bump against you. And that's sort of been the track record of Will Bolt offenses at Texas A&M and then last season at Nebraska. So we'll see, how much that can carry on to this year. But early indications are they like what they have, and that depth theme sort of plays out there too, where, you don't have to go too far back at Nebraska to see, maybe that bottom third of the lineup would be constantly turned over with different guys. Well, now they feel like they have the depth of hitters to where even that bottom third of the lineup can impact games.
All right, last one before we let you go. I'm curious, how's the kind of the middle infield going to shake out? Because we know we've talked about first base. Max is obviously at third base. Griff is behind the dish, obviously. But like second base and shortstop, should we expect Bryce Matthews to go back to shortstop? And then where does a guy like Efrain Cervantes fit into all this?
Yeah, I think Matthews, you're going to see him at short. He's going to slide over and fill that role that Spencer Schwellenbach vacated. You know, I've seen him practice a little bit, and he's slick with the glove, man, just like he was last year. I think that's a pretty smooth transition. And, you know, second base, I'm anticipating seeing Core Jackson quite a bit. He's a true freshman from Canada who showed a lot of power in the fall, really handled the bat well, good defender. He's somebody I would expect to see a lot of playing time. But they have some luxuries there. I mean, you mentioned Cervantes. He's, you know, he's not necessarily a plus, you know, offensive player with the bat, but he's really good with the glove. He's a guy who can, you know, he can fill in anywhere basically on the infield. If one of your guys needed a breather or maybe wants to play DH for a game or something like that. And you have Cam Chick, who's probably going to be in the outfield. They prefer him to be in the outfield, but he can also come in and play some second base. So that's a priority for Nebraska. You talk about things that matter to the coaches. It starts with defense. And so if you have an athletic infield the way that they do, you have a little depth there. You know, that's where you start. And then of course, you know, what you can do with the bat sort of adds on to that, but they feel like they have the defense and the athleticism on that infield to really be a solid foundation for why this team is going to be top 25 to start the year.
That's awesome. Evan, before we let you go, yesterday we were bringing up the most random baseball players that we could think of. Ricky Weeks was brought up, Ryan Howard. Who's the most random off the top of your head baseball player that you can think of?
Brad Penny.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a really, really good one. Yeah, that was the whole entire show yesterday is we scrapped everything and just thought of the most random players from like 2005 to 2018 that we could think of. So
it's a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, Evan, appreciate the time, man. We'll definitely talk to you down the road. And let's have some baseball this weekend, huh?
Sounds great. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That is Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. That got me juiced up.
I'm excited.
I am ready for tomorrow. 6:30 p.m.'s first pitch. We'll continue this conversation and do Nick trivia on the other side. So call now 402-464-5685. It's Husker baseball related, also related to the regional that Nebraska played in last year. I'll ask you the question after this on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you know your air ducts can hold up to 17 pounds of dirt, dust, pet dander, and so much more? John Henry's is here to help make the air you breathe cleaner with a duct cleaning. If you've never had your ducts cleaned, now is the best time, especially if you have pets, someone in the home with allergies or asthma, or you've ever done a renovation. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call or text today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brenner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual planter clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, Nebraska, February 23rd and 24th. Landmark's Planter Clinic offers expansive equipment training and important information on new and updated technology for this planting season. Learn more about AMS documentation and guidance, row unit and meter settings, and soil moisture monitoring options. Join us February 23rd and 24th in Hastings, RSVP by calling your local Landmark.
Here's your binky, buddy. We'll be home soon. You'd never give your baby a pacifier that has cigarette ash on it. But if you're smoking around your kids, yeah, it's kind of like that. Secondhand smoke contains thousands of toxic chemicals that can have a lasting effect on your child's health. Protect your children. Don't smoke around them or any child.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's your check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Cloudy, windy, and cold here for our Thursday, topping out at 28. North winds could gust over 25 to 30 for much of the day. They'll relax tonight as we drop down to 14 for the low. Big jump in temps for our Friday. Mostly sunny with a high of 57. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arnn. In basketball, the Lincoln Lutheran girls team won its first game in the sub-districts over Raymond Central 69-44. Kennedy Ailes scored 20 points for the Crusaders in the win. Their next game will be against Lincoln Christian on Tuesday. In boys basketball over the weekend, Bennington edged out a win over Lincoln Christian 61-58. Lincoln Christian won against Lord CC 59-52. Lincoln Southwest rolled Omaha Northwest 84-63. Helms led Southwest with 17 points. Miller North took down Lincoln Pius X 67-49. The Hastrader brothers combined for 36 points in the loss. Omaha Central dominated against Lincoln North Star 74-40. Waverly beat Omaha Gross 60-51. Harms had a strong night offensively for Waverly with 19 points. In swimming on Saturday, the Lincoln Southwest boys repeated as the Heartland Athletic Conference champion. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, back here on the Happy Hour one final time. Thanks again to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald for hanging out with us. I'm juiced up for Husker baseball, ready to go. We'll get to that here in a minute. But you guys know every week or every day on throughout the shows, we like to give away care baskets courtesy of Beatrice Bakery to a deserving member of the Lincoln community. And this week, we are giving our care basket from the Happy Hour to Tegan and Beth Wasserberger. They were nominated by Grant. And it says, tell us about your nominee. Here we go. My 5-year-old daughter has been having a tough time with wrestling. She had an injury to her neck and is trying to get over her fear of being hurt again. Slowly, she has been getting back on the mat and wrestling for a little bit. My wife is her coach and coach of a few more awesome wrestlers and has got these girls working together to help her overcome her fears and cheer her back on. So, Grant, yes, absolutely. We will connect with you guys. We will make sure we get a care basket courtesy of our good friends to Tegan and Beth, and thank them for everything they're doing. Girls wrestling becoming, it was now is a sanctioned NSAA sport. State wrestling is happening this weekend. It's going on right now, And so absolutely we're all for that here on the happy hour.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Big time.
In neck injury, especially wrestling wise, very painful. I had a minor neck injury in high school, and I wrestled for like 2 years, so it wasn't even anything serious.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a hard one. It's a lot of actions, people grabbing on your neck, you trying to, bridge if somebody's trying to pin you. It's a lot of neck work. So I wish her the best. I hope she can get over that, and I hope she can go out there and kick some butt.
All right, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline. Call now to win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. We got Nick's trivia here. Here's the trivia question. I told you guys before the break it'd be Husker baseball related. Here it is. This player pitched against Nebraska in the regional last year. He had a 12-1 record with 11 saves last season and posted a .90 ERA. He was then drafted by the San Diego Padres with the 99th overall pick in last year's draft. Who is it? Not anybody from Nebraska, but somebody that pitched against Nebraska and was a big name last year in the regional.
Big name.
I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't a big name. You could do it a couple ways. You can Google a couple things here. Look who Nebraska played. You could look up who the 99th overall pick was in the MLB draft. Jory, you got it right on the text line.
Jory, call in and say the name.
We gotta say the name.
You gotta call in
over the Honda Lincoln Hotline. Call in now, 402-464-5685. I was going through, we were talking during the break about Spencer Schwellenbach and stuff. I was looking him up. We found out that he had to get Tommy John surgery.
Did not know that.
Last August. So they made him get Tommy John surgery, which you remember he was forced to stop throwing, which is why he was not a pitcher at Nebraska until last year. Because he had to stop throwing because of arm care and all that good stuff. So they kept him as a shortstop. So
we're gonna get this one quick.
Yes, we got to get this one quick because we got out. We're running up against the clock here. Nate's got to get off the phone.
I'm gonna start the out music. Hopefully this person gets it right. If they don't, we'll give it to Jory on the text line.
I'm sure they'll get it right. Maybe it is Jory.
No,
nope. We got Jory. Jory, welcome to the happy hour. Thanks for calling in. Do you have a name for us?
Hey guys, yeah, great show. Kevin Kopp.
It sure is.
Ding ding ding.
Nice work, Jory. You win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Just hang on the line. Nate will get your information here momentarily, and you win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yep.
That is Jory. Thank you very, very much.
You good there?
Ooh, I'm juiced up. There's I believe Oklahoma State and Vanderbilt start the college baseball season off tomorrow at 4:30. Oklahoma State 7th in the country, Vanderbilt 2nd.
That is
or 3rd.
That is a really nice match.
It's going to be on ESPN 4:30 tomorrow. Super
Am
pumped.
I watching that? I might be watching.
We are watching.
I might be watching that.
We are definitely watching that one. All right, appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Once again, tip jar tomorrow at 2:30. Make sure you get your questions in then. We have one more day left in the week. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Huskers play tomorrow night. Winning baseball. It's all back here in Lincoln starting tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday, guys. See you tomorrow.
Adios.